time, there was a boy named Oliver who lived in a small coastal town. His grandparents had died in the Titanic disaster a long time ago, and the tragedy has always haunted his family. As Oliver grew up, he began to have terrifying and vivid dreams. In his dreams, he found himself on the Titanic, surrounded by frozen water. He could hear the screams of the people on board, feel the cold air, and see the frightened faces all around him. The dreams were so real that he would wake up sweaty and terrified, convinced that he was actually on that shipwreck. Day after day, such nightmares filled Oliver with fear. Her parents tried to reassure her and told her that it was just her imagination. But Oliver couldn't shake the feeling that there was something more to these dreams, something strange and otherworldly. One day, while going through his grandparents' old belongings, Oliver discovers a beautiful pocket watch with their names engraved on it. A shiver ran down her spine as Oliver held her. That night, as Oliver fell asleep, his dream took a terrifying turn. He found himself in a dimly lit corridor with old pictures and portraits on the walls. Whispers echoed past, making him feel uneasy. As he cautiously explored the dream version of the ship, Oliver came upon a locked door that gave him an eerie feeling. He took out a pocket watch from his pocket, which his grandparents had left behind, and put it to the lock of the door, and with that, 2 doors opened one after the other, connecting the same room. A cool breeze blew inside the room, flickering the burning candles inside. Oliver's heart skipped a beat when he saw a table full of old photos, newspaper clippings, and personal items. Among them, he found a decaying journal that belonged to his grandfather. With trembling hands, Oliver opens the journal and begins to read his grandparents' accounts of their time on the Titanic. Words described the fear and despair that gripped that fateful night. Oliver couldn't take his eyes off the pages, feeling a mixture of sadness and terror. Suddenly, the room grew cold and the atmosphere felt suffocating. A ghostly figure appeared before Oliver. It was the ghost of his grandfather, his eyes filled with grief. Oliver's voice shook as he asked, "Why are you showing me this? What do you want?" The ghostly figure points to the journal and urges Oliver to keep reading. The entries revealed a chilling truth. Her grandparents were trying to send a warning from their grave. The dream was a way for him to protect his family from impending disaster. As Oliver closed the journal, the apparition began to disappear. Before disappearing completely, his grandfather's ghost whispered, "Remember, Oliver, the past can haunt us, but it can also guide us. Heed the warning and be safe." Oliver was feeling scared but determined after reading his grandparents' journal. He knew that this was not just a dream, but a warning to prevent an impending disaster. The meaning of the dream. It was clear. There was a message of protection from some calamity in the past, but what calamity? With that urgency, Oliver began his quest. He started research using all his resources. Eventually, he found out about a unique submarine called the Titan that used to take the remains of the Titanic to the bottom of the ocean. The Titan submarine was a remarkable engineering feat, capable of going several thousand feet under the sea. But the submarine and its crew mysteriously disappeared in the sea. Oliver couldn't ignore the connection between the Titan submarine and his grandparents' warning. It seemed that fate had connected their stories. Oliver wanted to find the submarine before any bad news came, and he was determined to do so. After 24 hours of searching and searching, Oliver meets an old sailor who claims to have last seen the Titan submarine. Excited and nervous, Oliver tries to convince the sailor to take him to the location of the Titan submarine and help him find it. But the sailor upsets Oliver by saying something that's been sleeping for years. Those who wake them up will not be able to come back. Hearing these words of the sailor, Oliver was shocked. The sailor further told that many stories are known here that there were many people who died in the Titanic accident whose bodies could not be recovered, and it is said that their souls still rest there. Are doing that wake up on the night of the full moon, and that's why no one who went to the Titanic that night has ever returned. Was missing. Both Oliver and the sailor equipped themselves with diving gear and bravely dived into the dark, deep water. As they went deeper, the sea became murky. Oliver's heart beat faster as they went deeper, and he caught his breath when he saw a large structure emerge, which belonged to the same missing Titan submarine. Before Oliver, the Titan submarine had become an image of silence and horror, and its parts were scattered in front of Oliver. Like the Titanic, the legend of the Titan had become a part of history. Oliver was feeling very sad and disgusted with himself, because Oliver was too late to save the Titans, and the awakeners of sleeping souls had also fallen asleep. Oliver was looking at the remains of the submarine when he noticed a broken part of the submarine that had written on it, "Titanic," by the crew of the Titanic submarine, one about impending disaster like tragedy warning. As they read the warning, a strange light began to appear from the submarine and Titanic in front of them. Oliver began to hear fearful faces and voices in his dream. He started struggling to get out of the sea and finally came out safely. Oliver had seen another warning. He knew that another accident was going to happen, but when, no one knew. Oliver told all the story to the people, which was also published in newspapers. Oliver also wrote his book called Titanic to Titan, in which Oliver told his whole story to the world and also to the world from future danger. Acquainted. People liked the book a lot, and Oliver also got a lot of praise. Together, they worked tirelessly to raise awareness and prevent history from repeating itself. Oliver became a voice, reminding everyone that learning from the past can protect us. Years passed, and Oliver's quest became part of history. Oliver became a respected figure in his community, devoting his life to preserving the memory of the Titanic and the Titan submarine. He shared the lessons from these horrific stories with future generations, ensuring that the past would never be forgotten. A young boy who once had nightmares turned keeper of history, Oliver's story was a poignant reminder that the past can shape the future and that we should heed its echoes.